There were a lot of games I avoided growing up. Most series I've not got particularly fond memories of. However, I'm doing my best to rectify that. With Sonic Adventure and a few other games under my belt, what would I look at next? Well, I've got my first fan request, thank you for that. Oh nice, a platformer. So what's it going to be? Mario? Crash? Any of these platforming mascots? Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Kirby, Klonoa, Rayman, Banjo-Kazooie, Ukulele, Bubsy, Gex, Hackett, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Psychonauts, Lucky's Tale, Sonic the Hedgehog, Spyro the Dragon, Sly Cooper, Tak and the Parajuju, Pac-Man World, Earthworm Jim, Chibi Robo, Tide Tasmanian Tiger, Conker, Tombi, Ape Skip, Shantae, Super Meat Boy, Glover, Jumping Flash. No. Instead of any of them, I get the character that's named after a fucking shoe. Croc and the Legend of the Gobbos, or Gobbos, oh I don't care anymore, is an aborted Yoshi game. Yeah, even Nintendo didn't want this made, but with a character model tweak, it was birthed anyway and thrown on the PS1. One thing I noticed about Croc was a lack of visual and thematic consistency. Take a game like Banjo-Kazooie, you play as Banjo, who collects music notes because he's named after an instrument. You're also a bear, so you collect honeycombs. Makes sense, right? Now here's another example, Crash Bandicoot. His name's Crash because he crashes into boxes, and he's inspired by Looney Tunes characters, so he does a Tasmanian devil like spin attack. Croc, he's a crocodile, he collects gems, there are these, I don't know, pubes with eyes, and he has to hit a gong at the end. Now what do all these things have in common? Absolutely nothing. But maybe I'm being too harsh on the old Pez dispenser. Maybe if the game's fun, that's all that really matters. Well, first I might as well mention the plot. Croc just kind of appears in a basket in front of these Gobbos, who decide to raise him for some reason. Wow, he aged up quick. He can't be an adult. He doesn't look tired or depressed. Forget about that. Baron Dante is here, and with his army of critters and the body of a dustbin, he's gonna steal all the Gobbos. I guess who else can save the day but a crocodile with a backpack? I acknowledge at this point that I'm just being a grumpy old fart. So, it's time to be positive. It's time to boot up the game, time to grab the controller, and I will tell you this, the controls are bad. God damn it. This game has tank controls. Don't know what I mean by that? Well, if I hold down the left arrow key, instead of, going left, I end up just pivoting on the spot. Then use the up arrow to move forward. This is absolutely abysmal, especially on small platforms. But if the levels are constructed well, it shouldn't matter if the controls are a bit jank, right?
Wrong.
Alright, maybe I'll give it some credit. The first level is fairly varied. Except no, that wasn't even the first level, that was the first world. But maybe the second world is better. Oh my god, it's just the same level design but with snow everywhere. I have never seen such bland environments in a platformer. You'd expect that this simple level design means easy levels, and that would be the case if the main character didn't manoeuvre about as well as my mate's cat. These controls do not get much better during the boss fights. Let me explain by using the first boss. The first boss is a bird with arms and legs. First of all, this design is very bland, apart from the star on its front, so naturally, I thought that's where I was supposed to attack. No, apparently his back is his weakness. But even when I do an attack, there's no tactile feedback. There's supposed to be a certain punch when you hit an enemy in the game. Bosses are supposed to be satisfying to beat, with fun game mechanics and sick victory animations. Look at the fanfare I get from beating a boss in Croc. Okay, so maybe if the bosses aren't that fun, potentially the regular enemies are going to be fun. Well, first of all, I've got to explain how health works in this game. It's all based around gems. If you've got no gems at all and you get hit, you're dead. If you're holding gems and you get hit, you'll drop your gems. It's basically rings in Sonic. The difference is, when you play a Sonic level, rings are everywhere, which means if you get hit, it's not the end of the world because you know you're going to pick rings up again. In Croc, there's barely any of them at all, which means I'm constantly gaming over and losing lives. Not that the enemies are fun to attack anyway, you can pretty much just dispatch them with a tail swipe. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do you actually like anything about this game? I mean, Croc makes these noises when he fights. So, at least he's having fun. Look, I didn't like this game. If I wasn't making a video, I wouldn't have carried on. I was honestly finding any excuse not to play it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
But thank you for dealing with my negativity, and trust me, my other videos are a lot more positive. I'd like to thank It's Heskel for the support. Not for requesting the video, pretty sure I might be an alcoholic now, but let me know what you'd like me to see next. I do appreciate the support so much. I'm going to go now, and I'm going to keep searching for the gold in the old. See you later. No, Croc! What are you doing? I shouldn't have been so negative!
So kaboof!
I'm so sorry!